Hey, gang! You should look at the audience when they're looking at you. Hey, gang! Uncle Todd and Sonny here. And in this episode of Resident Alien, we find out just exactly where it was Harry went. Seems he was brought before the Galactic Housing Council, one of the most powerful intergalactic organizations ever. Seems the Greys have brought charges against Harry for disrupting their Yellowstone plan, for not getting off the planet when they told him to, but two much more important things. Bringing the Mantid to Earth, even though he had nothing to do with that, and two, stealing the baby they rightfully abducted. And to make matters worse, the prosecuting attorney for the Greys happens to be the brother-in-law of the head judge of the council. Anyways, and if Harry loses, he goes to the planet of Moria, where he is dumped in a huge lava pit that will burn him for centuries. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Darcy and Judy are frantically searching for the missing money from the diner. They have to retrace their steps. Luckily, they took a lot of pictures in their drunken state, so they are kind of working down through, and they notice one has someone in a pair of boots on it, but they can't see who. So they're going to have to try and figure that out. Now, during the trial, we learn that humans are the only creatures that have a soul. And this soul is gradually extracted from the human babies for keeping the Greys from growing old and dying, making them virtually immortal. And they make tasty little snacks that they sell out the universe. And humans are the only beings in the universe that have souls. That's why this whole thing works. Well, Harry kind of blathers about where Kate and Ben's baby is. And he cuts a deal. See, it turns out the Greys were not authorized to take Harry's alienness. So it got confiscated by the Housing Council. And Harry has to prove himself innocent to get it back. But he makes a deal. He'll go, kill the Mantid and bring it back, and they'll give him back his alienness. Okay, agreed. So he heads back to Earth, grabs Asta, and they head out to where it was buried. Let's see. Yeah. Turns out, which we learn from Sahar and Max as they're talking about what happened to the Mantid when they were told, that it got buried. And if a Mantid is anything like a praying mantis on Earth, you don't want to bury it. It can shed its exoskeleton, and the rich nutrients and moisture in the ground it's buried in can't help it regenerate if it's not completely dead. So, of course, Harry and Asta find an exoshell and nothing else in the pit. They're in the hole. The grave they dig up, and Asta says, of course, why would it bury the hole back up? So we didn't know it was gone. Duh. But as they're talking, Asta realizes Harry kind of blabbed about where Kate and Ben's baby is, so grabbing him, they can worry about the Mantid later. They've got to go get to the reservation. Let's see. Now, Judy and Darcy are hanging out in the diner trying to figure out how to trace the boots when Asta's daughter walks up and, she was the one. She's wearing the boots. So, talking to her, they find out. They then headed over to Ellen at the clinic to get some birth control pills. So they head over there, where Ellen tells them about the trucker they were getting involved with. That's where Darcy's jacket has ended up, in his cab. Of course, he's not there now. And but you did get a snapshot of a partial plate. So they take that to Liv, Deputy Liv, and she and Mike figure out what it is, somewhat what's going on, but they can't help her. No crime was really committed. Whatever they left in his cab was a mistake, but they can't arrest him for it. And they can't really track him down from that partial plate. He's a truck driver. He could be anywhere. They really can't help him, her, them. On the reservation, they're getting Kate and Ben's baby together and all the stuff. And they give the baby to Harry to watch while they pack up everything. Now, what's going on at this point on the reservation is a powwow. Traditional dance that they perform in traditional outfits, signifying the bonding of everyone and answered prayers, and it's very mystical. And Harry's sitting there watching it with the baby, and he's bonding with the baby, and he's feeling much more connected to humans. Let's see. Ben and Kate and Mike and Liv are now teaming up. They've got a little, evidence board of all the connections, and they all realize, or Liv tells them, that there's actually a third alien. There's a mantid, and there's the other guy, Joseph, but there's a third one. That's the original reason Peter showed up there, but they don't know who it is. Well, while Kate and Ben, Kate, who's feeling very hopeful now, they're trying to convert the spare guest room into a nursery. They know that baby, she just feels the baby's going to come back, and as they're packing up a lot of stuff, they come upon a lot of the drawings Max made when he was younger, season 1, and they come upon one of an alien, and they remember Max said that was Harry, Dr. Spiegel. I can never remember his last name. So when Max comes home, they ask him about it, but he says, no, Harry's just Harry. He's not an alien. Which depresses Kate, and when she runs into Liz takes her out in the woods, and they come upon a tree that Liv's grandmother said was a fairy tree. You would leave it treats, and in thankfulness, it might grant you a wish. And so she gives a piece of candy to Kate, and Kate puts it in the tree because, why not? And it does make her feel a little better. Well, they finish moving the baby to somewhere else, and Asta is very worried about the mantid. But Harry says, "Don't worry, I've got a plan, but we need rest. I'll tell you in the morning." Just then, Asta gets a call from the bank. Deposit was never made. Well, she then heads back to the diner, where she runs into Darcy, who lies and says, "Bank must have made a mistake. I put the deposit in." And then it's Asta's talking to her about all the day she had. She can't even listen. She's just too broken up about it, and she leaves. And she goes to the cabin where Harry is and actually talks to him, because she's hoping, since he doesn't really care about people, he'll be straight with her and berate her and make her feel even worse, because Asta used to always be able to see through her whenever she was lying, and she didn't, and she just accepted it. And Harry, who's going through an epiphany about himself, says, "Well, Asta's a good person. She likes to think the best of everybody, even me, who wholly doesn't deserve it." And as they talk, Darcy comes to a realization, and after she leaves, she heads to an AA meeting. Her first. Harry comes up with an idea, and he heads back to the Housing Council, minus the Mantid. Well, he has another deal for them. They will give him back the alienist, at which point he will be able to track down and kill the Mantid and bring it back. And the Greys will leave the baby alone because he knows how to create a soul. How does he know this? He's got one now. Oh, well, if they know how to create souls, they won't have to abduct babies anymore. They always took babies because they had the purest souls. Okay, it's a deal. But they're not going to give him the alienness. They're giving it to an executor. As for who that is, we'll get that at the end. Now, Sheriff Mike stops by the diner where he hands the bank deposit bag to Asta's daughter. Seems the mailman found it in the mailbox. The one that's right next to the bank by the night deposit slot. So Darcy really did make the deposit, she thought, in her drunken state, but didn't. And Ben and Kate's baby is taken back to them. They have their baby back. And as for who is going to be the one handling Harry's alien essence in the tube, his father. So we know next episode is going to be a lot of disappointed father comedy. An okay episode. I do like the Galactic Housing Council, where it seems everything is stacked up against Harry, but he manages to bluff his way out of a lot of it. And that kind of absurdity in the alien storylines always crack me up. I always like those. They're more of a bureaucracy than even Earth has. As for the rest of it, it's nice to tie everything that they were going to tie up, so that we now just concentrate on the main problem with the Mantid again. And I like that, we had that 4-group squad, basically, of Ben, Kate, Mike, and Liv, and I hope to see more of that as in the rest of the series, because I like the way they play off each other. Yeah, so an okay episode, although I did enjoy the powwow and learning about the importance of the dance and what the costumes signify and everything. I always like learning that kind of stuff. That's always fun. So please hit like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.